One morning when Will was sleeping late as usual, Humphrey came into his room.
"Hi, little Will, wake up, my lad."
Oh, Quack. What?
"Will, come down to the kitchen to help me. Your mother is feeling ill and she's staying in bed this morning."
Ill?
"Well, yes, she has a heavy cold."
Will dressed, and as he went downstairs, he heard a loud
Atishoo!
from his mother's room. Things went well at first. It was easy enough to cut the bread and put on the fly jam. They soon ate the lot, and Will was delighted because his father, Humphrey, allowed him to put twice as much jam on his bread as his mother did. Things went fairly well when they washed the dishes too. He only broke 1 saucer and 2 cups when he heard a mighty shoo coming downstairs. But then it was time for Humphrey to go out to the farm, leaving Will in charge of the kitchen on his own. Will looked around and decided to do what his mother usually did. First he brushed the floor. Then he went out to the garden to gather snails for lunch and put them in a bowl on the sink. Then he decided to do the washing. But it was tiring, boring work. And he was very glad when he heard voices calling from the yard.
Oh, hello, boys.
"Hello, Will, what you doing?"
asked Shawnee.
Helping Mum. She's ill in bed.
"Gobble, gobble, Will,"
said Eva.
"why don't we all help you?"
Quack, yes.
They all said.
Well, thanks.
And in a jiffy they'd all rolled up their sleeves and were rubbing like mad in the middle of the soapsuds. Well, of course, I hardly need to tell you what was bound to happen sooner or later. As Hugh Herc grasped the soap, it slipped and flew across the tub, straight into Will's mouth.
Great snails, Will. You swallowed the soap. Not a laughing matter. No, of course not,
Answered Dick.
What can we do?
Shawnee told Will to open his mouth, and then he thumped Will on the back, but only more suds came out. Then Ivan had an idea. The lads grasped Will and lifted him up and held him upside down over the tub and shook him until his sides churned.
"Out with it, Will! 1, 2, 3, out!"
Will spat the soap out with a
Hooray!
But unfortunately, who came through the door at that moment but Martha, who had dressed hastily on hearing all the palaver.
"Hey, you Currywell boys! What are you doing to our Will? Let him go at once!"
And of course that's exactly what they did. And Will plunged into the tub with a mighty splash. Well, there was such a commotion then.
"Humphrey, come here at once!"
And all the lads were marched out by Humphrey and made to stand in a row and wait their turn to go under the pump. But later, when Martha realised that they'd only been trying to help Will, she forgave them everything and called them into the house to have something warm to drink and a large piece each of fly cake with snail cream over it. And you know what? In the middle of the excitement, Martha's cold had completely gone. Wasn't that good news? And when Will went to sleep that night, there was a big smile on his face as he remembered all his friends soaked to the skin under the pump. Quack!